Welcome to Links 007 TV News Report, providing you with the best in local and international news updates. This is a place where you can get the most reliable and informative news information. Links 007 TV News Report. Welcome again and thanks for joining us. This is the nightly news on Links 007 TV. Today is Friday the 23rd of February 2024. These are the news making the headlines. The Thanksgiving service for well-known Jamaican broadcaster Alan Magnus was held earlier today. Magnus passed away unexpectedly on February 3rd, 2024. He was 80 years old. The funeral service, which was held at the Most Holy Trinity Church on North Street in Kingston, saw family, friends, and well-wishers turning out in order to pay their final respect. With an illustrious career spanning 46 years, Magnus retired in 2017, leaving behind a lasting legacy in broadcast radio. Known for his infectious laughter and good natural banter, Magnus started his broadcasting as an engineer with the telephone company. He was drawn into media due to his natural love for it. Alan Magnus is known for hosting one of the most popular radio programs in the morning with host Doreen Samuels, who also passed away. In remembrance of Alan Magnus, his family and friends took the time in order to reflect on the good memories that they shared with him.
From Maya, dear Grandpa, you were the greatest puzzle. You are the greatest piece to the puzzle that is the Magnus family. Every Jamaican knows you as the iconic voice of morning radio, but I had the privilege of having you as my grandpa. Every single Saturday night of my childhood, your house was the place to be. I would be as little as 6 years old, staying up until 2 in the morning, hearing your iconic laugh come from the balcony as another family lime was taking place. Hearing your voice was a daily occurrence. Apart from Saturday nights or Sunday mornings, when limes had turned into sleepovers with me and my cousins, I got to hear you every day as I prepared for school. There wasn't a single day that passed where I didn't wake up and immediately hear Daddy turn on RJR to help me get to school on time. Whenever I would take too long, Dad would say, "Remember, Maya, once you hear Grandpa say X, you're supposed to be out of the shower. If he's past that, then that means you're late." It's going to be so hard moving on without you, as you're a constant staple in my life. I walked into your house for the 9-night celebration, and on instinct, my eyes went to the couch, and then to the veranda, so that I could walk in and say, "Hi, Grandpa," and give you a kiss like I always do. But a second later, I remembered that tradition has sadly come to an end. I am forever grateful for my last memory of you being a smile. 2 days before you passed, me and Daddy dropped you back home from an appointment before we drove to work. As you opened the door to the house, you looked back at the car and you smiled right before we reversed and drove away. I promise you that I will remember that look on your face for as long as I live. I wear my last name as a badge, proudly representing you and the legacy that you created for our entire family. I can't wait for the day I get to see you again. But for now, I hope you're enjoying your red stripes and your cigarettes in heaven with Auntie Carrie by your side. I love you forever, Grandpa. From Maya.
And lastly, from me, just like most of you, I grew up and looked forward to Grandpa's voice on the radio every morning. Birthdays were the best because every year I looked forward to Grandpa wishing me a happy birthday on the radio. For us, he'd make it extra special, and it also meant that everyone at school and all across Jamaica knew it was your birthday without having to say anything. Friends at school would run up to me and say, "Oh, Sasha, I heard your grandpa on the radio this morning. Happy birthday." For me, it was super special that he had that draw where people, even people you didn't even know, wanted to take the time to also wish you a happy birthday because of him. Growing up, I spent a lot of time at Grandpa's house, affectionately known as Junction, with Grandpa and Auntie Carrie. Typically, I was with them on the weekends, and usually we'd sleep over most times as a family, or other times just me when my parents wanted to go out. That meant that I became their handbag, literally, because growing up, I had no younger cousins or siblings for a while. They'd drive me up and down all over in that gold BMW that Grandpa once owned, including to the bar on a Friday night that Grandpa drank at for years, Foxy's. Yes, they took me to the bar. In those car rides, we'd listen to Grandpa's CDs. I heard the same Kenny Rogers CD play for what seemed like almost 12 years straight of my childhood. A young me sitting in the back seat would be singing with them as if I too was a die-hard Kenny Rogers fan at the mere age of 8. It's pretty much why I was able to recall from memory some of the songs from that CD that he loved, like Through the Years, Lady, Coward of the County, The Gambler, and so on, when we were discussing music for the funeral. Sleeping over at Grandpa's house was also quite memorable. Auntie Carrie and I would sit in the living room for a while and watch the Cosby Show while Grandpa would retire to the bedroom. When Auntie Carrie and I decided to head in for the night, it would involve me suiting up in my routine Junction pajama, any big old RGR t-shirt, and we had the pick of the lot from Grandpa's drawer. Most nights, we'd meet Grandpa watching some action movie that involved way too much killing and fighting. Auntie Carrie and I would then plead with him to change it to the Cosby Show that we were watching outside. And most nights, he'd let us. Believe it or not, Auntie Carrie and Grandpa let all of us sleep in their bed with them until we were way too old. I remember the day distinctly where they told me I couldn't sleep beside them anymore and that it was time to be a big girl and move to the other room. I was horrified, but mind you, I was probably like 12 by then and it was absolutely time. Then Auntie Carrie let it slip that lo and behold, it was Dad that told them to do it, but they gave me one more night. In my adult life, I spent a lot of one-on-one time with Grandpa right after Auntie Carrie's passing. We wanted him to not feel alone, and in filling up his weekly overnight roster of sleepovers to keep him company, I volunteered for Wednesday nights. Every Wednesday after work, I would head up to Grandpa's with my overnight bag. The few times I missed it, I hated missing it because I knew it meant that he'd be alone for the night. Our Wednesday night ritual became one of two things: him sharing stories about his life and Auntie Carrie with me, or us sitting in silence with him on his phone playing solitaire while I was on mine. Either option was okay with me and with him, but one thing always remained constant. Red Stripe was always involved. Whatever the mood of the night was, he and I enjoyed at least 3 to 4 Red Stripes together every Wednesday. And I think he enjoyed the fact that I enjoyed Red Stripes as much as he did. The last fun moment I had with Grandpa was when I drove him for the first time ever in my 30 years to Ocho Rios at that last December, with Grandma Val in the car as well. So I had my 2 grandparents with me. I knew that he hadn't been sleeping well, and so it gave me great comfort and pride when he dozed off in the front seat of my car for a bit along the highway. But for those of you that know me well, you know that my foot can be a little heavy sometimes. So while driving, it slipped me for a minute that I had my two grandparents, two precious cargo with me, and my foot got the best of me for a moment. In slowing down a bit too abruptly, the car did a little, let's call it a shuffle. Nothing major, but still noticeable. But in that moment, Grandpa didn't flinch or even look over at me. He just continued to look straight. When we got to where we were going, he turned to me and asked, "Sasha, were you scared when that happened?" I said, "Yes, of course, Grandpa," to which he replied, "Well, you handled it well." Grandpa, we love you and we will miss you. May you fly high now and be reunited with your love, Auntie Carrie, and wake up heaven's angels every morning with your distinguished and one-in-a-million voice.
Continuing the news, there was a major development Thursday in the coroner's inquest into the death of Kevin Simmet and Constable Orlando Irons while Simmet was being transported to Kingston. Constable Orlando Irons and Dr. Kevin Simmet, head of the Pathways International Kingdom Restoration Ministries, died in the October 25, 21 crash on the Linstead bypass in St. Catherine. The two police officers, Constable Siobhan Gordon and Ryan Harrison, who were in the ill-fated police vehicle carrying the accused to Kingston, testified during the inquest on Thursday, detailing the disturbing series of events started before they left the Barnett Street Police Station in Montego Bay to take Simmet to the offices of the Major Investigation Division in Kingston. While at the Barnett Street Police Station, Simmet told the now deceased Constable Orlando Irons that the cup of tea that he was having before starting the journey to Kingston would have been his last. They further testified that Simmet also told them that they would not make it into Kingston and that he, Kevin Simmet, was going to die. Both constables testified that Simmet told them along the journey that the blue Toyota they were traveling in was never going to make it into Kingston. Constable Gordon, who was seated in the front passenger seat of the ill-fated service vehicle, broke down in tears while speaking about the things Simmet said and that he did in the car while being transported to Kingston. He related his testimony in tears as he described how Simmet held on to the left shoulder of the driver, Constable Ryan Harrison, pulling him after he shouted out in the car that he was from Bogwalk St. Catherine and that he wanted to die there. He said when Simmet held on to the driver, the late Constable Irons, who was sitting in the back seat with Simmet, immediately tried to remove Simmet's hands from the driver's shoulder. Both constables said that Simmet held on to the driver despite both hands and feet being shackled. Constable Harrison, who said he had been driving for the police force for more than 14 years, told the judge that when Simmet held on to him, it caused him to lose focus and resulted in the crash. The constable further stated that he maintained his grip on the steering wheel even while Simmet held on to his shoulder. All that happened when he was driving in the middle of the road with the hazard lights on, trying to keep up with the marked service vehicle that was piloting his vehicle. The inquest ended on Thursday. The verdict will be revealed on May 21st, 2024. Continuing the news, after hitting the Super Lotto last year, lucky winner T. Rowe has come forward to claim her prize of $144.6 million. She won with a $200 ticket with the winning numbers 6, 14, 22, 20, 31 and the Super Ball of 7, drawn on December the 1st. Rose, who showed up to claim her prize in a costume, has been in a state of shock since realizing she had the winning ticket. The winner stated that she didn't catch the live draw that night, so she only realized she won some days later when she checked the results. The woman further stated that she checked the numbers over and over again. I checked them backwards, sideways, everywhere there is, but the result was the same. I won. I almost fainted. I'm still in disbelief. Sometimes I have to pinch myself to realize that this is not a dream. In a move that is common with so many winners, she sees her winning as a great opportunity to set the stage for generational wealth. Rose's first thought was to help her family with the new fortune. I'm going to help my younger siblings with their college tuition because I think with this kind of money I can change the direction of our lives. I'll be also investing wisely so that we can have money for generations to come. Super Lotto is currently played in 6 Caribbean countries, which includes Jamaica, Barbados, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Antigua, and St. Martin. Draws take place every Tuesday and Friday at 8:30 p.m. Continuing the news, Bob Marley One Love biopic garnered an estimated $80 million globally as of Sunday following its Valentine's Day opening. According to an article by the Associated Press, the film made $14 million in North America on the first day only, a record of a midweek debut. The biopic, which focuses on Bob Marley's life from 1976 to 1978, was made at the cost of $70 million and distributed by Paramount Pictures. The film covers Bob's survival of an assassination attempt, the production of his album Exodus while in exile in London, his cancer diagnosis, and the One Love concert that the reggae legend has been renowned for. The story of Bob Marley, played by British actor Kingsley Ben-Adir, was told through the recollection of Ziggy Marley, widow Rita Marley, played by British actor Lashana Lynch, and others who knew him well. The movie was shot in the beautiful Caribbean island of Jamaica and the United Kingdom. Continuing the news, 17-year-old boy shot and succumbed to his injuries in St. Anne. Police investigators are probing the shooting death of a teenager in Seville Heights, St. Anne on Tuesday night. The deceased has been identified as 17-year-old Deshaun Gordon, popularly known as Sean D. of Seville Heights. Reports from the St. Anne police are that at around 11 p.m., residents heard loud explosion coming from a section of the community and alerted the police. On their arrival, Gordon's body was found with what appears to be multiple gunshot wounds. He was assisted to hospital where he was pronounced dead. It is theorized that the teenager was pounced upon by unknown assailants while he was on his way to a shop in the community. No motive has yet been established for the gun attack. Links 007 TV will continue to track this story and have more details to come on this in a subsequent newscast. Continuing the news, 15-year-old boy sexually assaulted a 6-year-old girl at daycare. A 15-year-old student of Buckfield Ochoria St. Anne is scheduled to face the court following an incident in the parish on Saturday, January 27, 2024. Reports from the Ochoria's police are that a 6-year-old girl was at a daycare facility when the accused barged in on her in a bathroom where he sexually assaulted her and subsequently had sexual intercourse with her. A report was made to the police and an investigation was done into the matter. The accused was later taken to the police station by his relatives, where he was charged with rape and grievous sexual assault. His court date is to be finalized. This has been Links 007 TV News Report. Thanks for watching.